Yo, I fuck with this. I fuck with that.
These are like blanket pigs.
Yeah, they taste like jizz in your mouth.
Huh?
But how do you know what that tastes like though?
Do you like Feastables?
No.
No. Kidding.
Hi, I wanted to provide some context to this video. I'm a former MrBeast employee, and today I am alleging that the company rigged videos and did illegal lotteries and sold fake signatures. I would consider that fraud, okay? Thank you, enjoy the video.
So it's been a minute since I last talked about MrBeast, and that alone says a lot about how wild this whole situation has been. For a long stretch, he wasn't just another creator on YouTube, he was the headline. Every corner of the platform was talking about him, breaking down his moves, debating if he was the biggest positive force YouTube had ever seen, or if there was something more complicated going on behind those perfect thumbnails and billion-view numbers. Last year especially, it felt like he was untouchable one day and under heavy pressure the next. The turning point came when controversy started swirling around his longtime friend Chris. Concerns were raised about past online behavior that involved minors, and that immediately shifted the tone. People weren't just clicking on MrBeast videos for fun anymore. They were watching with a different lens. Every collab, every cameo, every big smile on camera got picked apart and analyzed. The vibe changed fast, and suddenly the biggest creator on the platform was under a microscope like never before. Then out of nowhere, Dogpack dropped a multi-part series that wasn't just light criticism. It was positioned as a full-scale takedown attempt, the kind of content built to seriously damage someone's reputation. For a brief moment, it really looked like the tide might turn. Reaction channels lit up overnight. Commentary creators rushed in. The algorithm was flooded with breakdowns, theories, and hot takes. Even people who had never watched a single MrBeast video suddenly had strong opinions. For a couple of months, going after Jimmy was profitable, it was trending, and it felt like everyone wanted a piece of the momentum. Jokes started flying about how much
a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably gonna.
Ad revenue some channels must have made just covering the drama. It became a full-on content gold rush. Creators were uploading non-stop, squeezing every angle out of the situation. But like most online storms, the intensity didn't last forever. The buzz slowly cooled down, the outrage cycle moved on, and then MrBeast finally sat down for a long-form interview with MPA 2.5 hours that many people expected to be the big reckoning, the moment where everything would either collapse or clear up once and for all. Except it wasn't. The big interview everyone expected to shake the table, it barely did. There was almost no real pushback, no tough follow-ups, just a lot of nodding and space for Jimmy to explain his side without much resistance. At one point he was asked, "Did you think it would get this big?" Yes. And that was pretty much it. No dramatic fallout, no wave of sponsors running for the exit, no empire collapsing overnight. His Amazon deal stayed in place. His main channel numbers didn't crash. Long-term, the outrage cycle just moved on. Dogpack, who had dominated the conversation for weeks, slowly faded out of the spotlight. Some people believe legal pressure may have played a role, because once attorneys get involved, even the loudest voices tend to quiet down. On paper, MrBeast survived the storm, but surviving a wave doesn't mean the criticism disappears. It just changes shape. And here's the thing. Long before the Chris situation and long before Dogpack, a different kind of discomfort had already been brewing around MrBeast. For years, critics have debated the way he does charity. The argument isn't new. Some say his philanthropy feels too performative, like human struggle becomes part of the show. Instead of quiet assistance, it's filmed, edited.
3 tanks is going to be providing clean drinking water to over 300 people in the community.
This tank, when completed, will hold 15,000 liters of water, paired with a mechanism to clean the water, disinfect it, and make it safe.
Packaged into dramatic before and after moments designed for maximum engagement. A few critics take it way too far, throwing out extreme comparisons that don't even make sense. But underneath the exaggeration, there's a genuine feeling many viewers struggle to explain. Even creators who don't openly dislike him have joked about his vibe. The flat tone, the almost robotic delivery, the way he talks about huge sums of money like it's spare change under a couch cushion. It's not that he comes off as evil, it's more that he feels optimized, like a walking algorithm built for efficiency. He can talk about helping entire communities 1 second and pivot to ad revenue metrics the next without his expression shifting. That contrast makes some people uneasy. And that brings us to Team Water. On the surface, it's one of his most ambitious charitable pushes yet. The mission sounds incredible. raised $40 million to bring clean drinking water to communities around the world that don't currently have reliable access. According to the campaign, that amount could provide 2 million people with clean water for decades. The slogan is powerful and simple. $1 equals 1 year of clean water for one person. That line hits hard. It's easy to understand. It makes even a small donation feel meaningful. To be fair, charities use this kind of framing all the time. Turning abstract numbers into tangible outcomes helps people connect emotionally. The issue isn't attaching meaning to donations. The issue is how simplified it becomes. Clean water systems aren't one flat price everywhere. There's drilling, filtration equipment, transportation, skilled labor, long-term maintenance, replacement parts, and ongoing oversight. Costs vary massively depending on geography and infrastructure. So when someone confidently says $1 equals 1 year of water, it can feel less like an exact formula and more like clever psychological framing. Not necessarily misleading, but definitely streamlined to remove complexity.
Here we're saying you're a very generous soul.
Are you really gonna do this shit? I fucking did the McDonald's drive-thru, man. Is this gonna happen to me? Oh my God. Oh, what are you trying to get me? What are you just fucking give me a number? Just give me a number, Jimmy.
Normally that might not be a big deal, but MrBeast isn't just another nonprofit organizer. He's one of the biggest digital personalities on the planet. Every move he makes gets amplified. Every message spreads fast. And that's when some viewers started feeling uneasy, not because of the cause, but because of how the campaign began to be promoted. Instead of just posting links and encouraging support, Jimmy began hopping onto live streams with other major creators and asking them directly in front of massive audiences to donate. Not subtle encouragement, real-time pressure, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of viewers watching as he put fellow influencers on the spot. Sure, many of those creators are wealthy. Sure, they can afford to give. But public pressure changes the dynamic. It stops feeling purely voluntary and starts feeling performative. Some creators hesitated. Some laughed nervously and tried to deflect. Others donated quickly, but the energy didn't always feel natural. It felt like damage control, like nobody wanted to look stingy in front of a live chat scrolling at lightning speed. And that's where the tone began to shift, because suddenly the conversation wasn't just about providing clean water anymore. It was about social leverage, optics, and whether generosity should ever feel like a public test. It stopped being just about helping people. It became about optics, about numbers, about records, about who could donate the most, the fastest, the loudest. And that pressure hit another level when MrBeast teamed up with Adden Ross and XQC for what turned into the most talked about team water stream. On paper, it sounded incredible. $12 million raised for clean water is objectively a huge win. Communities benefit, real lives improve. That part isn't up for debate. But the way it unfolded left a strange vibe for a lot of viewers. During the stream,
Team Water, what do you think of when you think of that? You're not thinking of any other creator except MrBeast. So MrBeast gets all the credit. So, when he's, asking people to donate on his stream and stuff and pressuring them. And I think it's just kind of a little weird. Like, bro, when they're pressuring these creators to donate money and everything for that, I can see why some creators don't want to do it because it's MrBeast's name that gets all the recognition. It's not Bill Bob Jr. II donating $1 million that's going to get the recognition. It's going to be MrBeast raises over $10 million to Team Water.
Jimmy wasn't just encouraging support. He was orchestrating it. The whole thing felt like a live leaderboard. Numbers mattered. Amounts mattered. Who donated and how much they gave became the center of attention. It felt less like quiet generosity and more like a competition with a countdown clock. There were moments when donations that most people would consider life-changing were brushed off quickly. Someone gives $15,000 and the reaction is basically, okay, but we need more. That's where the discomfort started creeping in. Not because the cause was bad, but because the framing felt intense. It felt like charity had turned into a high-stakes scoreboard. The energy shifted from compassion to performance. To be fair, Jimmy kicked things off with over $500,000 of his own money. That matters. He wasn't just pointing at others and asking them to step up. He stepped up too. But the way he spoke about money throughout the stream felt distant, like huge sums were casual, like anything under 6 figures barely registered. And for most viewers, that kind of money isn't abstract. It's years of savings. It's a house deposit. It's security. So when massive donations are treated like loose coins, it creates emotional whiplash. There were also moments that felt awkward. At one point, workers came in to set up what looked like a mechanical bull or challenge setup, and Jimmy joked about not wanting to give them water. It was likely meant as humor, but during a charity stream centered on access to clean water, the timing felt off. Even small jokes can land strangely when the theme is serious. Then the tone drifted further. Jimmy said things you wouldn't normally hear on his main channel, jokes that felt out of character, comments that seemed looser than his usual polished image. Ed and Ross brought chaotic energy, including moments that felt more at home on late-night streaming than a global charity push. XQC did what he always does. Loud reactions, unpredictable commentary, non-stop motion. The whole stream felt messy, chaotic, and oddly unstructured for something framed as one of the biggest philanthropic efforts of his career. And that contrast stuck with people. MrBeast has built his brand as YouTube's humanitarian powerhouse, the guy solving big problems at scale. But during this stream, he didn't feel like a humanitarian figure. He felt more like a corporate fundraiser with a Twitch layout. Still, here's the tricky part. The outcome was positive. Millions were raised. Real projects will move forward. That makes criticizing him complicated. Every time someone points out the awkward moments, someone else responds with, yes, but people now have access to clean water. And they're not wrong. That tension has followed Jimmy for years. When critics claimed that wells he funded in Uganda weren't functioning anymore, he sent someone out to physically check every single one. All 100 were reportedly working. The claim fell apart. That wasn't flashy. That was direct verification. So the issue isn't whether he cares, it's how he shows that care. His style feels optimized, strategic, system-driven, less emotional, more mechanical, and that's why comparisons keep coming up with creators like Ryan Trahan. Ryan's charity content feels personal. You see the struggle, you see awkward human moments, you see interactions that don't always look polished. It feels organic. With MrBeast, everything feels engineered for maximum impact, maximum reach, maximum scale. And that's powerful, but it also creates distance. Some viewers connect deeply with the scale, others miss the warmth. And that split reaction is what keeps this conversation alive. That contrast is what makes MrBeast content feel more artificial to some viewers, even if the final impact is equal or even bigger in scale. And that brings everything back to the real question. What matters more?
Dude, I'm playing some Counter-Strike right now. I'm live too.
Oh, let's go. Well, Hayden, get your toes off the table.
Sorry.
Please.
No. Let him keep his toes on the table, bro.
Nah, that's crazy, Rug. You can't be saying that unless you're donating some money. I saw in one of your videos, you got a nice house. You got a lot going for you. The view's been high. What are you doing, 100 million this month? Every dollar's, a year of clean water for someone in need. What do you think, Rug?
First off, amazing cause. What can I do? I'll definitely donate to the cause for sure. And I just don't know off the top of my head what I would do.
All right, I don't want to peer pressure you. What about 5Gs?
That's light. I mean, I would say at least 10.
Oh, okay. Well, then sounds like you can do more. Can we get a 15? 15 grand?
We'll get a 15 grand in there. We'll get a 15 grand.
Okay, hey, donate it live on stream. Shout out to Rug.
100%. We got you at 15.
All right, thank you, man. Catch you later.
Let's go. Hey, of course.
Let's do some math right here, boys. That 15 grand I just got us, does that even make a dent? What percentage 15 grand of 8 million? Someone do hey, Luke, can you do the math? What percent of $8 million is $15,000?
No. The intention behind something or the way it's executed. Does outcome cancel out discomfort, or does the method always matter too? When you zoom out, his entire brand runs on extremes. Extreme generosity, extreme budgets, extreme efficiency. He doesn't just help someone quietly. He builds a set, brings in cameras, adds stakes, adds a countdown, and turns it into the biggest version possible. That formula is why his Amazon series on Amazon felt unsettling to a lot of viewers. Contestants competing under constant cameras, huge prize money hanging overhead, emotional tension amplified for maximum drama. It wasn't presented as harmful, but it didn't feel calm or grounded either. It felt intense, controlled, almost dystopian to some people watching. Team Water sits in that same gray zone. It's clearly a positive initiative. Real infrastructure gets built. Real communities benefit. But at the same time, the process turns charity into content, content into spectacle, and spectacle into brand growth. Every milestone becomes a headline. Every donation becomes a clip. Every new record feeds the larger MrBeast narrative. That's where some viewers pause. It's not that they dislike helping people. It's not that they oppose big charitable efforts. It's that they feel uneasy seeing life-changing work packaged into the same format as viral challenges and entertainment drops. When saving lives becomes another content vertical, it blurs lines. It mixes compassion with engagement metrics. And that mix doesn't sit comfortably with everyone. Still, arguing with results is tough. Millions raised, millions potentially helped. Systems built that could last for decades. Most nonprofits would dream of that kind of reach, that kind of visibility. that kind of immediate funding power. So maybe the uncomfortable truth is this: large-scale charity in the internet era doesn't look quiet or subtle anymore. It looks loud, it looks fast, it looks optimized for the algorithm. Maybe the era of anonymous philanthropy has shifted into something more public and data-driven. MrBeast might not feel warm in the traditional sense. He might seem socially awkward. He might talk about money in a way that feels disconnected from everyday reality. His tone can come off robotic at times, but he's also mobilizing resources at a level very few creators ever have. And that's why the conversation around him never fully fades. If he didn't publicize his charity, people would question the transparency. If he does publicize it, people question the motives. If he raises huge sums, they debate the optics. If he raised smaller amounts, they question the impact. No matter the move, there will always be tension around it. At this point, MrBeast isn't just a creator. He's a case study in what happens when internet fame, corporate-scale funding, and philanthropy collide. Some see a pioneer, others see a machine. Most probably see something in between.
Where's that 100 G's?
Dude, what the hell?
Where's
How am I getting pressed like this?
Where's the 100 grand? It's 100,000 years of clean water for people in need.
Dude, I haven't streamed it. Like I said, I'm doing 100 and then whatever my chat donates. I told you that.
Okay.
Oh, he did say that though.
Okay, I forgot.
And that gray area is exactly why people keep watching, keep debating, and keep trying to figure out whether execution or outcome truly carries more weight in the end. And that's why the debate never really ends. Because with MrBeast, the conversation is never just about one stream, one controversy, or one campaign. It's about what he represents. He isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He's a blueprint. He's the model of what happens when content, capital, and charity all merge into one machine that runs at full speed. Over time, something shifted. MrBeast stopped feeling like an individual creator experimenting with wild ideas and started feeling like an ecosystem, a production company, a brand with departments. When people watch his videos now, they don't just see Jimmy, they see scale, warehouses, teams, strategy meetings, legal oversight. It feels less like someone filming in their backyard and more like a startup chasing quarterly growth targets. And that perception changes everything. When you're seen as a scrappy underdog, audiences forgive rough edges. When you're seen as a corporate powerhouse, every decision feels calculated. Every misstep feels strategic. That's where a lot of the discomfort comes from. It's not necessarily about believing he's doing harm. It's about sensing that everything is optimized. Every thumbnail tested, every title engineered, every act of generosity slotted perfectly into a content pipeline. Some viewers miss the earlier era when the stakes felt raw and unpredictable. Now the stakes feel engineered. The challenges are bigger, the budgets are higher, but the emotional core feels flatter to some people. That's the strange paradox. The scale increased, but the intimacy decreased. At the same time, we have to be honest about something.
Massive announcement. I'm opening a theme park in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on November 13th. People ask me all the time, MrBeast, I want to compete in one of your videos. Well, now you can. This theme park is filled with some of the craziest challenges and most insane prizes we have ever given away. Like all theme parks, we have roller coasters, we have drop towers, we have all that usual stuff. But in Beastland, we also have custom-made games that are inspired off our YouTube channel. This theme park is going to blow your mind, and tickets literally just went live. Beastland opens on November 13th as part of Riyadh season. You can book your tickets through WeBook.
If MrBeast didn't operate this way, he probably wouldn't be able to pull off projects like Team Water in the first place. Raising tens of millions of dollars doesn't happen by accident. It requires systems. It requires branding. It requires influence. And influence at that level always looks a little corporate. There's also the reality that audiences themselves have changed. Viewers are more skeptical now. They question motives. They analyze tone. They screen record moments and clip them out of context. The same energy that once built creators up can flip overnight. MrBeast operates in that environment every single day. That might explain why he leans into structure and control. Chaos doesn't scale well. Systems do. Still, there's an emotional gap that keeps resurfacing. When he talks about money like it's abstract, people feel distance. When he frames donations in simplified equations, people feel cautious. When charity becomes a live spectacle with a leaderboard, people feel tension. None of those reactions automatically cancel the good being done, but they do shape how that good is perceived. And perception matters in the digital age. One thing that keeps this conversation alive is that MrBeast rarely shows doubt publicly. He doesn't linger in uncertainty. He doesn't often sit in messy emotions. His delivery is clean, direct, forward-moving. That works incredibly well for momentum. But emotionally, some viewers crave vulnerability. They want to see friction. They want to see struggle. They want to feel that helping people isn't just efficient, but deeply personal. When that vulnerability isn't visible, people fill in the blanks themselves.
Hey, go right on the ride.
He's walking around the park and chaos is following wherever he goes. I even found Dream at the MrBeast Festival. How's it going? Yes! Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you. Let's go into the MrBeast store. Beastland hoodies, 3 different Beast Lab toys, Beastland backpacks. Can I buy a Beastland hat?
At the same time, there's a case to be made that expecting a certain emotional performance from someone is unfair. Not everyone expresses care the same way. Some people show it through systems, through action, through scale. MrBeast might not communicate warmth in a traditional sense, but building infrastructure for millions is a form of care, even if it doesn't come wrapped in visible sentiment. Another factor is the sheer size of his influence. When you're operating at that level, you stop being judged like a normal creator. You're judged like an institution. Institutions are held to different standards. They're expected to be transparent, ethical, responsible. The bigger you get, the less room there is for awkward jokes or chaotic streams without scrutiny. Every move gets magnified, and maybe that's the real tension here. MrBeast built his brand on being bigger than everyone else, but with that size comes weight. When you raise $12 million in one stream, it's impressive, but when you crack a joke that lands strangely in that same stream, it hits harder because of the stakes involved. So where does that leave everything? It leaves us in a complicated space. The results are hard to dismiss. The scale is undeniable. The impact is measurable, but the vibe, the tone, the feeling around it remains divided. Some see innovation, some see over-optimization, some see a humanitarian who understands the internet better than anyone else. Others see a content machine that sometimes forgets to slow down. What's clear is this: MrBeast isn't going anywhere. His model works. His audience remains massive. His influence keeps expanding beyond YouTube into mainstream platforms, streaming deals, and global initiatives. The conversation around him won't disappear.
MrBeast here in Riyadh and his opening day, so come with us and check out what there is to do inside. Let's go. We're now inside Beastland and it looks absolutely incredible, and we've noticed that there is a countdown over here for some reason, so they're saying get to the stage. We need to go. We need to find out what's going on. There's a little meet and greet area over here. We don't actually recognize anyone yet though.
Something massive is waking up at Beast. You know, you got the wristband, and when you play the games,
the barriers are open and we're following everyone. I don't know where to, but
because he sits at the intersection of entertainment, capitalism, and charity. That intersection is never simple. And maybe the most honest takeaway is that two things can be true at once. Good can be done at scale, and discomfort can still exist around how that scale operates. You can appreciate clean water projects and still question the spectacle. You can admire the ambition and still critique the tone. That tension is the price of operating at extremes. MrBeast built an empire on extremes. Extreme generosity, extreme production, extreme growth. And when you live at the extreme, the reactions will be extreme too. Some people will defend him fiercely. Others will question him relentlessly. Most will probably sit somewhere in the middle, unsure whether to be inspired or unsettled. And as long as he keeps pushing bigger projects, bigger streams, and bigger records, that debate isn't going anywhere. If he keeps his charity quiet, people say he's hiding something. If he talks about it openly, people say he's exploiting it. If he pushes other creators to donate, he's called manipulative. If he stays silent and doesn't leverage his network, he's accused of not doing enough. There really is no version of MrBeast that pleases everyone. That's the reality of operating at this level. When you're that big, every move becomes a headline and every headline gets dissected. So the question stops being about him and becomes about you. Where do you draw the line? Is it enough that communities receive clean water, food, or resources, even if the delivery feels loud and highly produced?
When we were talking about MrBeast's controversies, it's like, in a certain sense, now that he had them, they know that it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, of course, there are still worse things he could do. I think there are things that he could do that would, like, break down the empire. But I do think that these companies and these brands have realized over the past, like, 5 years in particular, that the longevity of the influencer does not depend on how bad the controversy gets. Like, I imagine that the lesson from Logan Paul, for example, was like, oh yeah, at a certain point after the Suicide Forest video, it seemed like Logan would never make money again. But the reality is that he makes exponentially more money now than he did before, during, or after that controversy. So it's like, in a weird way, I think that the brands almost push the creators more than the audience even pushes the creator.
I think cancellation in general when it comes to these style of influencers is now a myth. I don't think an influencer outside of an extreme grooming or sexual assault scandal can't bump back from any sort of controversy at this point. You know, Trisha Paytas is doing better than she's ever done before. Jeffree Star is still thriving.
Dr. Disrespect still exists.
Or does the method carry just as much weight as the outcome? Does intent matter most? Or does presentation shape everything? For some viewers, it feels awkward. For some viewers, it feels awkward. For others, it feels like momentum. Because the truth is, large-scale influencer-driven charity isn't fading away. It's becoming normal. This is what philanthropy looks like in the digital era. Fast, public, measurable, optimized for reach. MrBeast didn't just participate in that model. He helped define it. He showed that you can mix spectacle with service and generate results at a level traditional campaigns often struggle to reach. That's why he's constantly at the center of these conversations. He represents a shift, and shifts always create friction. Some people believe results speak louder than tone. If millions benefit, that's the bottom line. Others believe tone shapes trust, and trust is everything. If something feels overly engineered, they question it. Neither side is completely irrational. That's what makes this debate so layered. It's not simple, it's not black and white. It lives in that gray space where impact and image collide. At the end of the day, maybe the bigger truth is this. Influence always comes with scrutiny. The higher you climb, the more people analyze how you stand. MrBeast chose scale. He chose visibility. He chose to build the biggest machine possible. And when you build something that large, you can't control how everyone feels about it. Now, I want to know where you stand. Do you think positive outcomes outweigh any awkwardness in delivery? Or does the whole thing feel a little too polished, a little too intense, maybe even slightly dystopian at times? Let me know your honest thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more breakdowns like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who loves unpacking internet empires. There's always another story unfolding, and we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.